My name is Richard Bazley. I'm a director, animator and board artist. I've worked for many years as an animator in Hollywood on major films such as Pocahontas, Hercules, The Iron Giant, and I'm now making the transition into live action. I'd always been fascinated by the Roman baths. I live near Bath. The whole city's a film set. It's gorgeous. Now, the difficult part with short films is that short films don't make money in themselves. Features will, but short films are a great showcase for the director and for any of the other artists who are working on the film. So a good way is to get sponsors. So in this case, we had a short film that worked as a short film by itself, but it also worked to promote Bath, and Bath Tourism were very up for putting it on their website. They helped out with the sponsorship, as did a number of other companies. Without all these sponsors, it could not have happened. Once boarded it, we needed to look at a crew and a team and how to pull that together. Now, I'm a board artist, animator and director, but I hadn't produced, and certainly not line produced. That's a whole other skill, so I had to bring in another team of people to help. One of those people was Nyasha Hatendi, an actor and producer. He in turn brought in Joe Buckman as a line producer, and in turn they were able to bring in the whole team to work for me to make this happen. Another key factor was the main actor, Mingus Johnston, a friend of mine I'd met a number of years ago. So Mingus came across to the States, and I was able to introduce him to a number of contacts and set him up to do an interview on what's called LA Art Stream, an arts program on the web where they interview directors, writers and artists. So I did him a favor and thought nothing of it. So years later, when I'd storyboarded this idea for this Centurion, large soldier type, I thought of Mingus. He's a boxer and boxes with a friend of mine. Showed him the board and he returned the favor and took on the role, and I was delighted. So I'd completed the storyboard, pitched it, got a crew together. We were all ready to make it, and I got an email from the Roman Baths with a small issue. There's a bug in the water, so we're not allowed to film an actor in the water. And the whole idea is that the actor needs to be in the water. So we then had to find a solution to make the film. So one option was to look at follies around the country that looked something like it and intercut it. We looked at a few locations, but they weren't close enough. So the other answer was to do green screen. So what we did was shoot plates at the Roman Baths from the board, so we've got everything worked out. Then we could shoot Mingus. We shot him at another location, the Bath Therme Spa, which is a smaller contemporary bath spa just down the street, where we could drop in the green screen, film him, then later we were able to composite it together. Well, they say never work with children and animals, and here in my first short, we have children and animals. But it was great. For the eagle, there's only one eagle in the film, but we filmed two for a good reason. We filmed the male eagle for the flights, for the flying. He would fly on command, the female wouldn't. So we would film her for the close-ups because she had this beautiful coat. It looks like it's painted on. Again, filmmaking is a collaborative process, and as we were finding the cast and people, at the end of the film I wanted to have this little dog, Jack Russell, because it would be a great contrast, this big soldier to this tiny little dog. Luckily, a friend of a friend had a little dog. It's putting all these pieces together, whatever it takes to get the film to happen, and it's just spectacular what you can get working with great people. For me, it depends actually on the medium. In animation, you have to be more specific in the action and the cut of the board, because you can't have animators working forever on stuff and not using it, because it's very expensive. And in live action you can shoot coverage. You can shoot and shoot and shoot, so you can be a bit more organic. So what was interesting on Centurion was that I had my plan set out for the film, but when we were on the shoot, there were things that we needed to adjust to make it work. There was scaffolding all over the building, so we couldn't film them coming out of the same exit. So what we did on the day, we had the storyboard, we set it up. I got the director of photography, Gary, to set it up. The actor's walking towards the exit and immediately said, it's not going to work. I said, what do you mean? He said, we can see the plane, and when we cut to outside, it's lower. We could try doing something in compositing, fiddle around with it, but if you can do it on set, it's kind of easier, especially on a budget. What we did, he filmed it to a certain point, we cut, then he suggested a bridging shot. So we went to a shot in a reflection of the door. He comes in, then we cut to outside, and he walks down the steps from the different exit, and you wouldn't know. No idea. Nobody's ever questioned it. Now you know. So now, having GBK Hybrid set up, we're in a great place to make the type of films that we want to make, with a strong story in live action, animation, whether 2D, CG, stop motion, whatever it takes.